Hello everyone, this is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. It is Wednesday, October the 19th, 2011, and I'm just down here at St. James Park, which is the base camp for the Occupy Toronto movement, which started 5 days ago now. And as you can see, there are a number of tents that are set up in this encampment, and they have been camping out here for 5 days now. And in the past 5 days, I've made a number of observations. I've been following the protests and documenting everything, filming everything. And one thing that stood out to me a few days ago is that the police are completely staying out of the way. They basically allowed all of the protesters to pretty much march wherever they want to march, take over whatever intersection they'd like to take over, whether it be the financial district or Yonge and Dundas Square in the heart of downtown Toronto. And I think the reason for that is because the police are already trying to restore the public's faith in them and restore the public's trust in the police because of the atrocities that took place at the G20 summit last year here in Toronto. So there is no way that they are going to get too involved and clamp down on this protest because they have a PR problem. It's not going to look good on them whatsoever, and as I said, they're trying to restore the public's faith in them. So in that sense, it works out well for the protesters because they are able to go around to multiple communities in an effort to gain some support for their movement. Now, there are a number of other things that I've been finding a very common trend, a very common thread here. And I'm starting to run into more and more of these kind of communist and socialist and just flat out anti-capitalists, people who are beginning to have a voice here at this particular movement. And you know, just the other day I was interviewed for a documentary film, and the guy kept asking me, isn't consumerism the problem? He kept trying to get me to say that capitalism is the issue and people consuming is the problem. And I said, look, I personally don't think that capitalism is the issue. If you are stuck in this capitalism versus communism type of paradigm, then you're not really getting the big picture. And I explained to him that people are always going to want to consume. It's in our very human nature. Humans are covetous in their very nature. They're always wanting and wanting and wanting more. That is more of a moral issue that I'm not so sure you can change that. So, you know, I tried to explain that what people ought to be focusing on is not this 1%, but more like the 0.0001%, the international financiers, the centuries-old family dynasties like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, who have set up their private central banks all over the world in order to gain their control over the people. So I think we have to be careful of the directions that this movement is being steered into and the types of solutions that people are going to be calling for. Because the fact is, for this 0.001%, the international financiers, the puppet string pullers, they have an agenda to formulate a one world government and a one world religion and a one world cash system. This is not conspiracy theory. This is being well documented in some of my previous films like The Nation's Deathbed and United We Fall, and many other people have documented this as well, that this is indeed the agenda of the international financiers. Now, when you want a single government, a single religion, a single cash system, you need everyone to be on the same page. You need to unite everybody spiritually, consciously, into one. So this talk that I'm often hearing, that we are all one and we are building towards this unified consciousness, that is the goals of the global elite. That is the very goals of the New World Order. So I think it's something we have to be very careful of, because in the last few days I can see that this movement is moving in a direction that is not necessarily going to benefit the people. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously we need solidarity within the movement. It's a good thing for people to be working together. We just have to remain very vigilant and cautious of the fact that when this moves to be onto a global level, where everybody is under this singular consciousness and unified under one issue, if the global elite, the puppet string pullers, can unite everybody on the same page through the truth movement, through the occupation movement, they will, no doubt. It's all about getting everybody on the same page. That is a major step towards building their singular government. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we just have to be very, very careful about where this movement is heading. Again, it's still in its infancy, so we still do have an opportunity to try to influence and make sure that this doesn't go in a direction which is not going to benefit the people. But as I said, just from looking around here, I mean, I get a weird feeling, a weird vibe from all the hand signals and the call and response and the chanting, and it's the same with every occupation movement in every city. And I don't know, man, there's just little red flags going off in my head that make me wonder where all this is actually heading towards. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to bring that up and mention that we just have to be very careful that this thing isn't co-opted on a global scale and it's just going to lead us towards this New World Order. So that's it for this week, guys. Tune in again. I'm going to be doing more updates as this thing develops. Looks like these people are camped out here for the long run, so we'll just have to wait and see where all this goes. Once again, this is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care.